Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 6th of October and we are going to cover three very important topics which are in news. These topics are not only important from prelims point of view but also from the mains point of view. So the first topic which we are going to cover today is the Prime Minister's Ujjwala Yojana or the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Now this Yojana per se was launched in 2016, has been implemented in three phases. Phase 1 2016 till 2020, second phase 2021 it started and continued till 2022 end. The third phase very recently last month only when the cabinet decided to disburse around 75 lakh LPG connections to the people, especially in the name of women. So that is considered to be phase 3, but that was explicitly not declared by the government as phase 3. Now, why was this in news? Because the government has said that earlier we were giving rupees 200 as subsidy to the beneficiaries of PM Ujjwala Yojana if they went for refilling the cylinders. They got the cylinders initially free of cost. The first filling was also free of cost from the second phase onwards, but from the second filling and after that you were getting subsidized filling. The government earlier was giving rupees 200 as subsidy per refill to those beneficiaries. Now the government has said we are increasing this subsidy to rupees 300. Now let's suppose LPG cylinder here in Delhi is costing 900 rupees. It is actually somewhere around 903 rupees only. And earlier that cylinder was available at 700 rupees because 200 rupees subsidy was there. Now this cylinder will be available for rupees 600 because 300 rupees subsidy is available. So 100 rupees per refill subsidy has been increased. This will create an additional subsidy burden on the government of 7680 crore rupees only. And in this topic we will be looking into what are the details of PM Ujjwala Yojana, its phases, its challenges and its achievements. So we'll look into it in this segment. The next topic is glacial lake burst in Sikkim. Now a lake which is fed by the glacial melting of ice, and due to global warming scientists are predicting that the glacial melting of ice intensified, due to which there was increased water in that lake and that lake burst out. The water has flown out of that lake. Now only 50% of the water is left. More than 50% of the water has flown out of that lake due to that glacial outburst. Now where did that water go? That water went through a stream and met the Teesta River. A dam was destroyed over there, and then downstream the dam there were floods and damages. The situation obviously is severe and I would say concerning in Sikkim right now. So we need to know the geography, we need to know the reason behind that, and obviously main reason is climate change, which we have talked about a lot. So climate change can cause these kind of disasters, which I always mention as climate induced disasters. Now the third topic which we are going to cover is United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. Now this transnational organized crime is basically any crime of financial nature, I would say, which is committed by an organization like structured body. Like for example, this is the boss here. He has his left hand, right hand. Then they all have their punters on the ground. They further may have punters on the ground. And these people will be committing the crime. The police will come and catch these people. They are trained in such a way that they do not reveal the identity of their immediate bosses, or at times they do not know whom they are working for. And due to this structure only, the top hierarchy is saved. Many a times this top hierarchy is sitting in some other country and committing crimes in the other country. That is why the word transnational is used. And what kinds of crime do they commit? They commit crimes like illicit liquor trade, drug trafficking, or kidnappings, extortions. They have a financial motive behind that. So this is organized crime, and there is an international convention under United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. So our Minister of State for Home Affairs recently attended this conference in Palermo, Italy. And that is why it is in news. So we should understand from this particular topic what actually are the definitions of organized crimes, what is the structure of this United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crimes, who represents India over here. So all these factual information we'll get from this particular topic. The Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, a scheme of the Government of India launched in 2016, aims at providing clean cooking fuel to the women, especially in the rural areas. Who are these women? These women initially were chosen from the backward group, that is basically the below poverty line, and then gradually its ambit was increased to tribal women, SC women, destitute women, migrants, all these. This scheme has actually benefited around, I would say, 10 crore Indians. The basic idea behind launching this scheme was that the traditional cooking fuels, like I would say chulas, the traditional chulas which required cow dung or wood, created a lot of indoor pollution. That indoor pollution created, I would say, a lot of diseases in the, I would say, inhabitants of the house. And most of the time during the day, inhabitants of the house were females and small kids. So healthcare expenditure of the government also comes down with this Yojana. The first phase, 8 crore beneficiaries. Second phase, there were around 1.6 crore beneficiaries. And the third phase, which was launched very recently in August 2023, that is last month, there were 75 lakh new beneficiaries, which makes the total beneficiaries to 10.35 crore. However, there are challenges also in implementing this scheme. The challenges, like people take the initial cylinder which is available free of cost. The first refill is also available free of cost, but subsequent refillings after that, they are chargeable. Although government provides subsidy on that, but they are chargeable, so people don't generally go for refillings. Many people do not go. So refilling challenges are there. Refilling network is also a big challenge. It is not developed up to that level. It is getting developed. So this actually has created lots of benefits. Side by side, there are challenges also in its implementation. Presently, the government has increased the subsidies on subsequent fillings. Earlier, the government was providing 200 rupees as subsidy per cylinder. Now the government is providing 300 rupees per cylinder as subsidy. This will create I would say subsidy burden on the government to 7680 crore rupees only. So let us look into the details of this. Now LPG subsidy for Ujjwala Yojana, beneficiaries increased to 300 rupees per cylinder. Actual cost 903 of a 14.2 kg domestic cylinder which we use in our houses. Cost for Ujjwala beneficiaries, it is 603 because 300 rupees is the subsidy. Earlier it was 703 because earlier 200 rupees was the subsidy. So 100 rupees per beneficiary per refill will be benefited. Now the scheme, it was launched by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, introduced the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana as a flagship scheme with the objective of making clean cooking fuel such as LPG available to the rural and privileged households. This was launched in the year 2016, and usage of traditional cooking fuels had detrimental impact on the health of the rural women as well as on the environment because it caused a lot of indoor pollution. respiratory diseases were very frequent among the women as well as the children, which claimed a lot of lives as well. Now, objectives of this scheme was empowering women and protecting their health, reducing number of deaths in India due to unclean cooking fuel, respiratory diseases cause these deaths mainly, then preventing young children from a significant number of acute respiratory illnesses. However, in all these you will see that tackling diseases, basically respiratory illness, was the main, I would say, objective of this particular scheme. Apart from it, tackling the environment also, because use of those unclean cooking fuels contributed to pollution, I would say, in many ways. So this scheme has been implemented in 3 phases, as we can see. The phase 1 launched in May 1, 2016. The target under the scheme or phase 1 was 8 crore LPG connections to the deprived households by March 2020. Now, the release of 8 crore LPG connections under the scheme has also helped to increase the LPG coverage from 62% on 1st May 2016 to 99.8% as on 1st April 2021. Now, the scheme provides a financial support of 1600 rupees for each LPG connection to the BPL households. 50 million by 2020 was actually there. These many beneficiaries were there. However, in August 2018, women from 7 other categories were also brought under the purview of the scheme. Which are these categories? SC, ST. Those under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin or rural was being implemented, and we were constructing a Pakka house. And when we were constructing a Pakka house, the main aim was to give good standard of living. That Pakka house will have toilets. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was constructing toilets over there. That Pakka house should have access to clean cooking fuel. The Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana will be implemented over here. So it was integration of many schemes for better standard of living. Now, this holistic picture should be created in your mind as aspirants, where interlinking of various schemes should be there. When you study about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, you will definitely read about this Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana also. Beneficiaries of the Antyodaya Anna Yojana means poorest of the poor, forest dwellers, most backward classes, tea gardeners and islanders. All these were new beneficiaries which were added in the phase 1 of the scheme only. Initially, it was launched for BPL households, but the ambit was increased and these other members were also brought in. Now, phase 2, in budget of 2021, that is financial year 21-22, provision for increase of additional 1 crore LPG connections was there. By March 31, 2022, these had to be disbursed. But these 1 crore LPG connections were disbursed by December 2021 only. So, this was there. Along with the deposit-free LPG connection, Ujjwala 2.0 will provide the first refill and hot plate free of cost to the beneficiaries. So, first refill will be free and a hot plate means a cooking plate will be free of cost. The target of releasing additional 1 crore LPG connections under Ujjwala Yojana 2.0 was achieved in January 2022. Not December, but yes, January 2022. But still, there were 2 to 3 months left from March 31, 2022. Subsequently, it was decided to release additional 60 lakh LPG connections in phase 2 only. So, 1 crore plus 60 lakh, 1.6 crore LPG cylinders, and these were done till 31st December 2022. So, 8 crore in phase 1, 1.6 crore in phase 2 makes it to 9.6 crore. Then phase 3 was launched in 2023 August. Cabinet agreed to release 75 lakh new LPG connections in PMUY till 2025-26. This will make the total beneficiaries as follows: 8 crore in phase 1, 1.6 crore in phase 2 and 75 lakh in phase 3, that is 10.35 crore beneficiaries. Now, this is a substantial number and we can say that 100% coverage is targeted. Achievements: in the first phase of the PMUY, 8 crore poor families including from the Dalit and tribal communities were given free cooking gas connections because they were increased in, I would say, 2018. Then the LPG infrastructure has expanded manifold in country. In the last 6 years, more than 11,000 new LPG distribution centers have opened. But yes, I would say that they have opened, but they are not adequate as such. we need to open more distribution centers to make this scheme truly successful. Now, if I talk about it, we had this target of 8 crore LPG cylinders in phase 1. By 2020, we had to do it, March 2020. On 7th September 2019, that is few months before March 2020, the Honorable Prime Minister of India handed over the 8th crore LPG connection in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. So before time, it was completed. Then Ujjwala 2.0, additional allocation of 1.6 crore LPG connections, 1 crore earlier. They were completed well before time. 60 lakh additional target was then set. So with special facility to migrant households were also given. The scheme was launched in Mahoba, Uttar Pradesh by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. Then release of 8 crore LPG connections under the scheme has also helped increasing the LPG coverage from 62% to 99.8%. We've already covered this fact earlier. But yes, everything is being implemented before time. This is one thing which is worth noting in this particular scheme. Challenges in this scheme: limited refills consumption by the beneficiaries. They do not go for refilling. It is believed that in 2022, only 1 out of 4 beneficiaries went for consequent refillings. Very few of them have refilled their connections only 4 times a year. Rest less than 4 times a year. So it again raises eyebrows, or it raises questions that whether people are actually utilizing this or not. So because for subsequent fillings or refillings, they will have to pay. The government will pay subsidy, but 700 rupees was a big cost. And if the LPG prices went up, so it would have been more. Rising LPG prices. Now this prices of LPG gas depends on international prices. So it is indexed with that. If they go up, LPG prices in domestic market go up. If they come down, they come down. So very recently they have come down. It is costing around 900 rupees now a cylinder. Earlier, I would say 2 to 3 months ago, it was costing around 1100 rupees. So this is how it fluctuates. Rising subsidy expenditure on the government. This is also there because subsidy burden is there on the government. It should not be there, or it should be reduced, I would say. Then distribution and refill networks. This is again a problem. Although 11,000 new distribution centers have come up, but are they enough? The question is this. They are actually not enough for this scheme to be fully implemented or implemented in a proper manner. So this is all about Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Now the glacial lake bursts in Sikkim. 7 have been dead, few army personnel, like around 20 to 23 army personnel, they have been missing. And this all happened due to a glacial outburst or a glacial lake bursts, means that lake was being fed by this melting of particular glacier in Sikkim. Now glacial melt increased due to global warming, which fed increased amount of water over here. This lake bursts, and when it bursts, it overflew. The water overflew. 22 army personnel missing. The lake is South Lonak Lake. This particular lake suddenly overflowed into the Teesta River, creating flash floods. That flash floods destroyed the Chungthang Dam over there. Now every means Lonak Lake, Teesta River, Chungthang Dam. We'll see all of these through the map also. So this happened in Sikkim. Now the floods are believed to have been triggered after the South Lonak Lake forming from the gradual melting of Himalayan glacier. See, the word is gradual, but it was not gradual due to global warming. Suddenly overflowed and inundated the Teesta River basin. This destroyed the Chungthang Dam later, which is downstream, a key component of the state's largest hydroelectric project, and washed away highways, villages and towns. So actually it is going to create a lot of destruction. When the report comes out and when things settle down, we'll actually know how much destruction this particular disaster has done. Now see, the South Lonak Lake, this is the South Lonak Lake over here. This is Sikkim. In the northern part, northwestern part is the South Lonak Lake. The lake is over here, it outburst, water flew from here. It met Teesta River over here at this point called as Lanchan. Flash floods all over this region was experienced. Then here is this Chungthang Dam. This water, when increased water when came and met the Teesta River, they were going and the water capacity over here is not that much, but the water flowing was intense or it was increased, so it destroyed this Chungthang dam. When it destroyed the Chungthang dam, again increased flow of water over here, and army personnel missing, which are missing 22 army personnel, they are missing from this particular point called as the Bartam. So this is the map. Lohanak Lake has to be noted down because UPSC is known for asking questions from places in news. Then Teesta River over here, the Chungthang Dam, all these are places which have to be noted down. Now, according to the NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, and NDRF, that is National Disaster Response Force, they are saying that less than 50% of the water is now left in the Lohanak Lake. And ISRO has released certain images of that lake. Now, if I talk about that lake, this was that South Lohanak Lake. You see the dark portion over here, that is the water. Okay, it is 17 September 2023, that is last month, nothing happened. 28 September, this was there, and this portion you are seeing, you see this portion, this has started to increase, this has started to swell, and now only this much portion is left. The rest of the water from here, it has flown out. This is the glacial outburst, lake outburst. This lake is being fed by the glaciers, nearby glaciers. These are all glaciers. The ice melts, water comes here, collects here, and from here it flows down. So global warming again causing a lot of damages. And the last piece of news for today is the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. Transnational organized crime basically are those crimes which are financial in nature. Why transnational? Because the bosses can be sitting in other countries and the crimes can be committed in other countries. That is why transnational. Why organized? Because these crimes are being committed by those people who are arranged in an organization-like structure. This organization-like structure only helps them to sustain their operations. We have a classic example in the form of Dawood Ibrahim. He runs that D company. He is there based in Pakistan, but crimes are committed all over the region, that is South Asian region, particularly India, and he does not get caught. The people who are working on the ground, they get caught, and they actually don't know at times whom they are working for. So this structure only has enabled them to function in this way. United Nations has come up with this organization or with this convention. In 2000 it started this for tackling this. And there was a meeting with respect to this United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crimes, UNTOC we call it. And our Minister of State for Home Affairs attended this meeting. This meeting happened in Italy. So let us see. Recently, the Union Minister of State for Home Affairs participated in the 2-day UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crimes. India signed UNTOC and its 3 protocols on December 12, 2002. But this itself came into existence in 2000. The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, is the nodal agency for all the dealings with UNTOC. Now, one thing we need to remember here also, that CBI is also the nodal agency for Interpol, and CBI is the nodal agency for UNTOC as well. Definitions. When I talk about definitions, UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime defines organized crimes or organized criminal group as a group of 3 or more persons that was not randomly formed. First condition. They have been existing for a period of time. Second condition. Acting in concert with the aim of committing at least one crime punishable by at least 4 years in imprisonment or incarceration, and in order to obtain directly or indirectly a financial or other material benefit. This is very important, that whatever crimes they are committing, it is targeting financial benefit or material benefit, like kidnappings, extortions, betting, gambling, illicit liquor trade, drug trade. All these are crimes which are done by these criminal groups or cartels, and they are financial or monetary in nature. Then Interpol also defines organized crime as any group having a corporate structure whose primary objective is to obtain money through illegal activities, often surviving on fear and corruption. Now, again coming back to this definition of Interpol, in corporate like structure. In corporate, what do you have? This structure is there. Hierarchy is there, proper hierarchy. Now in these groups also, in these criminal groups also, this kind of hierarchy is there. These people are committing the crime on ground, and when police comes, police is able to catch this person. At max, police will be able to catch this person, but the police will seldom reach over here. And when the police cannot reach over here and they are running the show, so they'll keep on running the show, no? They'll hire new people over here, they'll do the crimes. वैसे भी there is a lot of unemployment, there is a lot of fascination about these kind of crimes. So people get attracted also. So this organization like structure only enables its, I would say, sustainability of this kind of groupings. That is organized crime. Now about UNTOC, we should also know about this as well. It is a multinational treaty against transnational organized crime that was established by the United Nations in 2000. It is often known as the Palermo Convention. Now also this meeting is also happening in Palermo. India joined in 2002, 2 years down the line, which we saw it in the first slide of the UNTOC. UNTOC has a total of 147 signatories and 190 parties to the convention. Convention is further supplemented by 3 protocols. We talked about these 3 protocols. So let us see what these 3 protocols are. First is protocol to prevent, suppress and punish trafficking in persons, means it is dealing with human trafficking like prostitution and all, it happens, especially women and children. Then second is protocol against smuggling of migrants by land, sea and air. It is also talking about human trafficking. So smuggling is basically an illegal way of transporting people or goods from one country to the other country. The protocol against illicit manufacturing and trafficking in firearms, their parts and components and ammunitions. So it is about arms trade, illegal arms trade. These are the 3 conventions under UNTOC. So this is all about UNTOC, which needs to be learnt. And one more thing which you need to learn is, there was a question asked in UPSC mains with respect to organized crimes, and in that question they asked about the linkage between organized crimes and terrorism, because I think in 2020-21 there were increased intel reports that organized criminal groups like the Dawood Ibrahim's D company is in constant talks with Al-Qaeda. Now why or what kind of threat they will pose? Actually, these organized criminal groups have an established network. So these terrorist organizations rely on their network. They can use their network to get their people and arms transported, the terrorist organizations. On the other hand, terrorist organizations give protection to these organized criminal groups. This is their give and take relation, which is becoming more and more dangerous for countries like India. So we should also look into these aspects with respect to these, I would say, organized criminal groups and all. Very important from internal security point of view. And this is it from today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow with some more information, with some more news pieces. But till then, you guys know what to do. You guys keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Jai Hind, Namaste.